2 months. It was great explosive diarrhea, and I couldn't have been prouder. So I had 2 books released within a year. And when it came time to write the 3rd book, Renovations, well, that's when my baby was too old to just stay asleep all the time. And that's when my full-time job became a full-time pain in the ass. And that's when my husband became, wow, you used to be my wife, and now you're everybody's friend and everybody's favorite author. There are things that pile up and take your time. And if you play Robot Unicorn Attack, you know you shouldn't get into pity, but I do that. And very time-consuming things, but mostly just stress. So Renovations I hope to have done in a couple of months. I'm also expected to release an anthology of my own short stories within a couple of months. And my own company, Death Publications, has edited a book that was supposed to be released already. But in business, full-time job, 4 children, it happens, and as unprofessional it is to admit blame, I have to admit blame once in a while. But yeah, 6 months, 2 months, and nearly 2 years from Renovations. As far as my short stories, as an author, I think everybody can agree the most important thing is to keep it going. If you stop writing, it's going to be another 2 years before you have your next book. If you're a writer yourself, whatever you do, even if you just write a little stupid story once a week, it's the best thing you can possibly do. If you stop writing, it's going to be like, well, I didn't write last week, so I don't have to write this week. Weeks become months, months become years, and years become it's too late. You keep it going. So my short stories, I used to write once a month just because I had to. And a lot of them I'm very proud. And other ones I'm like, hey, at least I got it done.
Yeah. That's very sage advice. Can I quote?
I hope that's good.
Well, like I said, it took me 2 months to write Corruptor. It took the publisher 4 years to get it out because they got backlogged. And then about 6 months before release date, they sent it back. Said, okay, we're ready to edit. I'm brand new to writing. I don't know how the publishing world works. I turn and say, edit? Well, you bought it. It's perfect, right? Apparently not, yeah. So I get back this wonderful, horrible line. Oh, the whole damn book. Are you kidding me? And I'm looking at it, and I see this little box up here marked track changes. Why is that? I never use that. Click off. There we go. Okay, well this part's highlighted. I guess he wants me to rewrite that. So I rewrote the entire book in 3 weeks, yelling at my publisher and swearing at her the whole time. This freaking woman, I'm gonna track her down. I'm going to Tennessee. I'm gonna track her down. Ooh. Send it back to her. She sends back. Needs more corrections. I just rewrote it. What do you want from me? I call her. Ida, you're my favorite publisher. You're my only publisher. What are you trying to do to me? Oh, I just need you to make those corrections. I fixed them. You sent it back. Oh, yeah, Stephanie didn't like her. Who is this Stephanie? I'd like to meet her. You know what? Just go ahead and send it again, and we'll go ahead and get it out. Okay. No, fix it, send it. Nothing. Like birds at night. You hear them, you don't see them. And then I get an email from a fan saying, hey, loved your book. And I'm like, oh, do you read the sample chapters I have up on my website? No, I bought your book last week. I loved it. I'm like, my book came out? I have a book? Go online. Holy shit, I've got a book! How come no one told me? And I start calling all my friends, hey, my book's out, buy it, buy it, buy it. And then, meanwhile, my publisher attends, so, Corruptor's selling well. Have you thought about a sequel? Oh, no, I wrote it as a standalone. You might want to consider thinking about a sequel. Okay, I wrote the sequel. That took Thanksgiving vacation, 4 days.
Wow.
I was drunker than shit. It didn't make sense. 97,000 words. Finish, throw it in the trash, and let it sit there. And then I stopped writing completely. And like you said, you have to keep writing? Yes. It's very, very sage advice. And I had to keep writing something. So I started writing an Eric Clinton 1632 series for Bane. I didn't get anywhere with it, but I made it to the you're almost good enough level, which I guess was a good little stroking of the ego. But I discovered that the faster I wrote, the worse it became. So I slowed down. I started actually paying attention to what I was putting on the screen. I realized that I have horrible grammatic, I have no grammatic sense at all. Grammatical. See, I can't even talk right. And it was atrocious, and I just pretty much slowed the pace down to the max I will do is 1,000 a day, 1,000 words a day. If you do that, you'll have a 100,000 word book in 100 days, which is a little over 3 months. You can't do better than that. That's a good, solid pace to go by. And if you're only writing weekdays and after you get off work, it slows down a little, but you have a goal for yourself. And it actually took me 4 months to write a 5,000 word short story, where that took me 2 months. And as I've become a little more comfortable with my writing, I've slowed it down, paced myself so I make sure all the details are correct. I don't use past tense verbs and present tense verbs in the same sentence and have my editor pulling your hair out.
You know what track changes are.
And I know what track changes are. I sat down with Janet Morris for 8 hours when I was on vacation at her house. 8 hours I sat at the screen, and this woman who's been writing for 40 plus years beat me in the head with just a smidgen of her knowledge, and I realized that I don't know anything about writing. But yeah, just basically slowing down really helps. Don't try to write fast.
What is track changes? Because I don't know what it is either.
It's a little feature in Microsoft Word where any change you make becomes highlighted, and you can put notes on the side of the what's that word called?
Margin.
Thank you. You put notes on the margin. What it was, it basically it shows if it's read and deleted, it'll show what was deleted, and it'll show the new change in blue or red depending on what your settings are.
But you thought you had to go back and
Yeah, I thought I had to go back and rewrite everything.
He didn't realize they had already been changed for him, and he was just looking at the changes.
So
he went
that
back and
editor,
changed them
Instead
again.
of clicking accept,
Yeah.
accept, accept,
Yeah.
accept,
Yes.
accept, or accept all,
Ah.
and being done with his edits in an hour.
Yeah. But now, I actually found out the editor said he's arrogant, it doesn't work well, he doesn't accept changes. I didn't know how to do it. And we actually worked it out last week, and I finally met the editor, and I'm like, oh, you're Stephanie. Your husband did my cover. Good job. I'm so sorry. I apologize for 10 minutes. I'm sitting on my knees in front of her signing table. I'm so sorry, Stephanie. Please forgive me. I didn't know what track changes were.
Yeah. Ticking off an editor is not a good thing.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to just approach all of this. On your knees.
I've got nice scab marks, so
Jim, you've got a novella out.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you pull that one?
Well, it's pretty
Especially in
common.
print.
Well, I don't know. It's pretty common for horror, actually, from what I've seen.
Yes,
You know, novellas, while you're correct, I mean, for a lot of other publishing formats, you don't see them.
Yeah.
But small press horror, like, there are guys who do pretty much nothing but, like, Dark Regions until just recently, and it's the change that they made that I think put them up to a Stoker level. They did pretty much nothing but novellas. So, you know, honestly, I mean, this is one of those things where people have asked me, like, oh, how did you get this published, or, you know, or like, I've had people act like publishing is so hard, when I was actually shocked at how many books are still printed. I just thought everybody was just hanging out on the internet looking at pictures of cats, you know, and so really, like, I think there's a market for just about anything, really. So yeah, like small press horror, believe me, there's tons. If you like the novella format, like, I mean, short story anthologies are one that I still can't believe the short story exists. Because I was like, nobody reads these things. You read them in high school and you're like, oh, the celebrated jumping frog of, you know. I like Mark Twain, actually. I'm just using that as an example because that's the one you always have to read. But you know, yeah, but you know what, but they're still around, so.
No, what I was going to say is, believe it or not, flashes are making a comeback now too. Yeah, this is Flash.
Yeah, see, or yeah, flash fiction is another one that I just demystified, but people love to read it, so what the hell, you know.
It's got people with attention spans like me.
Yeah, that's true.
Like 5 minutes in the bathroom.
Yeah,
and
the
I'm
bathroom.
done.
Yeah.
Or the doctor's office.
Yeah.
But actually, you need a novella in the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a real point to that's another question is you can't sit there thinking about like,
Can we put stand too?
oh yeah, well, you can they can't do everything for you. They're not going to hold your hand.
What?
But you can't worry about what it's going to be, basically. So I never think I'm going to write a book today, or like, whatever the idea turns into. So this I got to the end, and I was just like, oh, the end, all right.
Are all of your works available electronically?
Not as yet.
Mine aren't.
I keep bothering my publisher about it, and he doesn't respond to my email. So I don't know. They tell me eventually
Do you, if not, do you own your own? Do you still own the e-rights?
No, but I will at some point. You know.
That's not entirely true for Dragons Compose because it's offered by Curlac
Yeah,
Publishing.
Curlac
Curlac Publishing
always
is putting a lot of their publications onto e-format along with Dreams of Sting 2. I have a short story in Infradead from Sam Stock Publishing, and they're working on getting their titles onto e-formats. The problem is Curlac and Sam Stock both had a lot of titles, so I couldn't tell you when it would.
Yeah, Curlac just got on iBooks, I heard.
Yeah.
Alan just got on iBooks for, I know he got Lawyers in Hell on iBooks last week, which was really nice.
Well, if you're on iBooks, you can. It's the same file. It's
Well,
the
no.
same file for Nook.
Well,
Yeah, it'll
but
go-
we were on Amazon, and there's different DRM that, I mean, iBooks wants DRM.
Mhm.
I demanded, when I signed my contract for Corruptor, I demanded a non-DRM format. Because if anybody's gonna, it's just like loaning a book to your friend. You buy it and then you loan it to a friend. You give, I don't care. Read the damn book. It's gonna make you want to buy more.
You do realize that most larger traditional publishers are going to require this stuff to go out DRM.
They're trying, if I deal with any large publisher, like I'm going with Bain, Tor, they do non-DRM, and those are the ones I want to deal with. Curlac has non-DRM, except for the iBooks. They're required by Apple to run that, to run DRM. So
I didn't realize that Tor was doing.
They just
non-DRM.
started it. They actually are working with webscriptions at Bain. Well, Arnold was in charge, but Tom Doherty contacted Tony Weisskopf and said, let's work together. I already partially own your company anyway. Let's work together with some ebooks and...
I have to turn off the air conditioner.
Why?
It's only temporary. I don't know. My manager told me to. Myra said to. And
Why is our time up?
No, guys, they all do that. I mean, you don't talk about it officially, but like, you know, you can get it on torrent. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you can find my, I actually set up, I did on my website, I did keywords, torrent, Jason, Cordova, Corruptor. So if someone does do a torrent search for my book, they're going to go to my site anyway. I'm very sneaky. And I give away the first, like, what? First 3 chapters now, but up on Joe Buckley's site, he's got the first, like, 13, which is almost a third of the book. And I figure if I give them enough for free, they're going to want to see how it ends. And I actually, personally, I want people to pay for my book. I would like that. It's nice. Yeah, money is great. But if they're that damn determined to steal the book, I'm not going to fight them on it.
Typically, people who are going to pirate it aren't going to buy your book. Anyway.
Yeah, so it's really not a huge difference.
If they're going to steal it, they're going to steal it.
Yeah.
And if they're going to break the DRM, they're just going to download it from the DRM site, run it through Caliber, and crack the DRM regardless.
Yeah.
Because that's
What you heard.
what. No, it's what you did.
I don't know. I tried that for the Kindle, and I swear, what a ironclad witch that is. I can't do it. I bought a couple, and they're only on Kindle, and I was like, oh, that's easy. I'll just put this script on. Man, a lot.
Kindle stuff.
Yeah. Freaking Kindle.
I like
Yeah, they pay my
books.
rent. I ain't
I
grinding.
like to
I
hold
like to
books.
hold them.
Me too. I like.
I like authors'
No,
autographs
never.
books. I have lots of books. I like books.
I
You know, I
can't
like
read a
books
book
too.
that's not a book because of my epilepsy.
I like books. I love
What, you
collecting.
can't read
They
an
look
ebook
very
because of,
gorgeous on my shelf. But at the same time, if someone, like, for instance, the only way to get certain books before they're published, but still legitimately, is to go and get the advanced reader's copy, but some publishers only do it electronically.
Yeah.
Because you're not a book reviewer or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you have to pay a certain amount of dollars, but you get the book in free for in advance. Like I read Monster Hunter Alpha by Larry Correia.
Yeah.
Hilarious book, but I couldn't wait. The 5 more months.
You see, I saw that. I don't know. What was it like? You buy that and then you got the actual physical book free later or something?
I don't know.
Because I was
know.
like,
I didn't get it.
you're selling the ebook for like $25. Holy crap! Who's buying it? I guess I found out.
Why
So it was because I don't know, because I mean, I don't know, I get questions all the time about the ebook. People are always like, when's it coming out in ebook? And I'm like, man, I don't know.
Give me $5, I'll send you the PDF.
Yeah,
That's actually
That's
a
what I'm
good
gonna
idea.
start,
If
I
you
think,
set up a
doing
PayPal
because-
on your site.
yeah.
That's what the publisher for Corruptor does. You send her an email and pay through PayPal, and within 24 hours you've got a non-DRM copy of the book in your inbox.
Yeah, I gotta do something like that, because I don't know what
That's
it
what they do for autograph copies.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
PayPal.
lovely. I wonder how you.
Yeah, I set up a PayPal button with a shopping cart on my site so people can order autograph copies that way. I mean, I might sell 2 a month, but still.
I do the same thing, pretty much.
Most of my editions are signed already. Good person, so people really get off.
Well, plus you can have fun with signed books, like
Yes.
this one,
Oh,
the infamous Dragons Compose book. We, this is hilarious.
Have I signed that one?
I don't remember, you probably have. Ellen Gilbreth of Her Life Publishing published Dragons Composed, obviously, and there is a writer, lovely lady by the name of Elizabeth Donald. I'm pretty sure some of you hopefully have heard of her, or if you haven't, you really need to meet her. She is a trip. But every time he promoted this book, he would say Elizabeth Donald. Have Elizabeth Donald sign it. She has a short story in it, and each time he did that, she would say, "No, Alan, I don't have a short story in that. Please stop telling people this." Because they would come up to her and, "Would you please sign my book? I'm not in it." "Oh, you're not. I'm sorry." So what my dad and I did is we started collecting signatures of everybody
Nice.
who's not in the book. So at Imagicon, my dad takes his book and he comes up to Elizabeth Donald and he says, "Would you sign my book?" And he says he thought she was going to have a heart attack. She was so mad. And she said, "I'm not in that book, David." And he opened it up and said, "Well, neither are these people." She laughed. This is her favorite version of the Dragons Compose book because we collect signatures of every author we run into. You are also invited to sign the infamous Dragons Compose book of nobody. I'm not in it. So.
That's great. I was doing a signing a couple of weeks ago with, there were 5 or 6 of us doing the signing, and 2 of the people were in a collection called How to Write Magical Words off the website Magical Words.
Cool.
It's a great book for writing fantasy. But this sweet little teenager came up and bought the book and came up and said, "Will you sign my book?" I said, "I'm not in that book." "I know, but I can only afford to buy one."
That's sweet.
So all 5 of us signed her copy.
See, so you can have that type of fun with books that you
Yeah.
can't have with ebooks. It's just become a little game. It's the ongoing running joke.
I bet they will invent an app that will capture your signature.
It's called autonomy. It's close.
5 minutes. Thanks.
We only have 5 minutes. Anyone interested? I have a reading tomorrow night at 10 p.m. and I will be reading a chapter out of my book.
Way to stay on the ball, that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's great. I'll have a reading too at 6 p.m. I'll just bring each one of my books and somebody can choose what I read.
That's tomorrow night. Mine's tomorrow night.
Mine's tomorrow afternoon,
Not
6
last
p.m.
Yeah.
Let's see, today I'll be on the concourse signing at 7 with a bunch of other people, look like. I can't remember all their names. And I also have a reading, for some reason, at 11 p.m. I'll be in panel room C, which is down that way somewhere. I know it's party time,
That's
but
tonight?
yeah, that's tonight. So, I don't know, there was other people doing the reading too, so I figured. I like
Jello shots on there.
Your heart's in the right place. And I'll be reading, I don't know, this one, I want to promote the novella because it's coming out, but I may do the other one too, I don't know if I'm going. And, and then Sunday, I've got something, but nobody's going to be here Sunday. Are you got anybody hanging around really late on Sunday? Like how late? Well,
Like 3 o'clock.
okay, well, you're an author, you don't count that. What about the
Okay.
fans? Any of the fans hanging around that late on Sunday? Because I saw that. Really? Okay, I'll be on something Sunday at 1, the Pulp Fiction panel.
I have a signing on Sunday at 11 in the concourse. I actually have a
I
signing.
finally get to show off my geek cred. Saturday, I have a putting science and science fiction and keeping ahead. That's gonna be fun.
There goes Elizabeth Donald.
Hey. Tonight I have 11 o'clock. That's Animals and Speculative Fiction. That'll be fun. I have vampire deer.
What?
Vampire deer.
Oh, you want to hear more about vampire deer? Come at 11 o'clock and see me. Bring your drink. And share with me.
Vampire deer.
I haven't got deer.
I thought I was going to mention by creating a warthog crocodile.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
His name was Bubbles. She makes him her pet.
I have a warthog.
I was really drunk one night and I was like, I need the craziest thing in the world. And
So drinking really helps you.
really, drinking helps
Yeah.
me.
See, I did mine sober.
We should
though.
have a panel about drinking.
Drinking and writing. That would be a great panel.
Stephen King wrote Cujo high on coke and rum.
And it
I
shows.
have a friend who can't write anything unless it's.
Why isn't that
I
surprising?
have a talking bat in the novella. It talks like Little Richard.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because actually that was based on an actual experience that I had.
You
Talking
talking
bats?
back?
Well, the bat, it was more like I imagined it because the bat made this face and it reminded me of Little Richard, and I was like, I remembered that later and I was like, this is perfect. Oh yeah, the bat should talk like Little Richard. So I'm like,
Woo! At least it wasn't Rick James.
yeah. I thought about it, but I was like, Rick, does
9
Rick
p.m.
James, I thought about it.
We
I
have
was like,
horror
does Rick James
writing,
go
character, and other considerations.
Oh, what's
And then on Saturday, at 6 o'clock, I will be telling you everything I've ever done wrong as a novelist and where first-time novelists go
When
wrong.
is that, at 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock on Saturday.
Oh,
I might just be there. Oh,
Need to get
sorry,
down
I'm
there.
doing
Yeah.
reading.
1 minute, last thoughts.
Buy our books.
Buy our books.
Yes, buy our books.
Actually, my books aren't here. Buy them online.
Come to DragonCon.
I can't go DragonCon, that's too big.
It seems too expensive.
You
Yeah,
can buy mine online. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
thanks
coming.
for
Coming
coming.
and listening to us. And thank you for such a
No problem. I'll get it.
Yeah, I know.